Welcome to Randy's Old Time Radio Shows. Tonight, we step back in time to the wit and charm of Frank Muir Goes Into. Join legendary British humorist Frank Muir as he explores everything from politics to everyday life, with clever observations, hilarious anecdotes, and a touch of classic satire that still makes audiences laugh today.
Frank Muir goes into the theatre and investigates the humour of the profession with the help of Alfred Marks.
A theatre usherette went to the dentist. "Which tooth's troubling you?" he asked. "Balcony, third from the end on the left." An unemployed actor came home one day and found his wife in an hysterical state, her clothes torn and tattered. "Good gracious, what happened?" he said. This man came round and assaulted me. I had to fight him off. It was terrible." "Who was it?" cried the actor in fury. "Who was it? Who was it?" She said, It was your agent." My agent? My agent? Did he leave a message for me?" There was a theatrical production in which one character had to shoot another. He pulled the trigger and nothing happened. In desperation, since he couldn't think of anything else to do, he kicked the man instead. With great presence of mind, the actor clutched the injured part and fell to the ground crying, "The boot! The boot was poisoned!" A family went to the theatre one evening, and as they went to their seats in the stalls, they discovered that there was a man lying across all three of them. "Excuse me," said the father, "those are our seats. We got the tickets." So the man just lay across his three seats and went, "Ugh." So they called the usherette and explained, and she said, "Now come along, so I'm afraid you must move." But still the man just went, "Ugh," and lay across his three seats. So they called the front of the house manager. He came bustling up and said to the man, "Come along, I'm afraid I must ask you to move. These people have booked their seats, so that's their seats. Now then." He wouldn't move, he just went, "Ah." So they called a policeman. In walked the policeman and said, "All right, now come along now, lad. Come on. Now then, where are you from?" He said, The balcony." An agent was trying to sell one of his actresses to a manager. "She's marvellous, marvellous. Got an incredible figure. 72, 26, 37. 72, 26, 37. She's got a marvellous act." So what does she do, dance? No! She just crawls onto the stage and tries to stand up.
Actors, on the whole, have always been rather distrusted by the rest of humanity. Perhaps it's natural distrust of anyone who pretends for a living. How do we know when they're being sincere? This distrust has been around for a long time. We can go back as far as the 5th century to St. Augustine, who wrote, "The theatres, those cages of uncleanness and public schools of debauchery." And here's an even more violent indictment from the Puritan William Prynne, from his book Histriomastics, the Player's Scourge, written in 1633.
"Whores, drunkards, hypocrites, fools, ruffians, penny fathers, scolds, Turks, infidels. There is scarce one devil in hell, hardly in at all a sin or sinner on earth, either of modern or ancient times, but hath some part or other in stage plays, common actors, the devil's chiefest factors, rake earth and hell itself for unparalleled villainies, that they so may pollute the theatre. The very filth and offscouring, the very lewdest, basest, worst and most perniciously vicious of the sons of man."
Alfred making his ploy for a small award. Nowadays, the situation hasn't changed much either. Though there are agents and public relations men, though actors have equity to protect them, though there are respected theatrical knights, the man in the street is still wary of anything theatrical. That's why he makes jokes about actors and actresses. It's an occupational hazard in the theatre if you take it up.
As the actress said to the bishop.
A case in point. It couldn't be anyone but an actress who shares so many innuendos with the reverend gentleman. I'm afraid with actresses, it's a case of a small minority who brought the profession into disrepute. It used to be far worse in the old days. Here's an extract from the Thespian Dictionary or Dramatic Biography of 1800.
Mrs. Hart, actress, was the daughter of a respectable tradesman in St. James's, from whose house she eloped with a favourite lover, and afterwards, by the elegance of her figure, obtained an engagement at Covent Garden. But being possessed of no other claim to public favour, she grew tired of the insignificance of her theatrical character, and, quitting the stage, took no further pains to support any character at all.
Nowadays, as much as ever, the theatre still has rather dubious overtones from time to time. Actress no longer has the Victorian meaning of a lady whose role in society is hard to define while retaining the proprieties of civilised discourse. The word housekeeper, or latterly model, seems to have taken over that job. But the feeling remains, actors are equally distrusted. They are thought to be effete and immoral and far, far too strange for normal society.
You came to the theatre, then?
Yes, I couldn't miss your opening night. Back here in the theatre, where you scored all your triumphs.
Do you think the audience will remember me?
Oh, darling. Of course they will. You see, you'll get a warm hand when you enter.
Been so long, Fiona.
Charles, darling, what a lot of telegrams.
Yes. Everybody's been too kind.
1 minute, Mr. Huckaback.
Thank you. Noel sent me roses. Rose sent me Noel's. Neither pair fit. How will I go with the audience? Can I still get across to them?
Oh, you know you can get across to them, Charles.
Can I still touch them?
Oh, I know you can touch them.
Yes, but can I still move them?
I feel you can get across to them. I'm sure you can touch them. And I know that if you really try, you can move them.
You're on, Mr. Huckaback.
Coming. Oh, damn. Can't remember my love.
You will. As soon as you walk onto that stage in front of that audience, it'll all come back to you. Go now, Charles. Be wonderful.
Thank you, Fiona. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Right. Here we go. Legs 11, clickety-click, all the nines. 99.
Hugh Paddock and Betty Marsden. One of the main criticisms levelled at actors in jokes is their vanity.
Did you hear about the actor who fell off a ship passing a lighthouse? He drowned, swimming round and round, trying to keep in the spotlight.
As well as jokes about actors' vanity, there are jokes about actors' poverty.
Hello, Henry. You working? My dear fellow, am I working? I managed to get 2 weeks at Windsor in a play. The part's very tiny. It's only £7 a week, but there is a practical steak pie in the second act.
A repertory actor who can't pay his rent is a figure of joke mythology just as much as Scotsmen and mothers-in-law.
There was an old ham actor who was rather hard up, and the landlady was getting very insistent about her money, so he decided to put on a bold front. My dear woman, how can you be so petty about money? Do you realize in years to come people will point at this house and say, the great actor Jackson once lived here? Yes, said the landlady. They'll be saying it next week if I don't get me rent on Saturday.
It's unlikely that we'll ever recover in this country from the Puritan backlash against the theatre. Its most vehement spokesman was a parson named Jeremy Collier, who in 1698 published his Short View of the Immorality and Profaneness of the English Stage. The Short View ran to just over 200 pages. Dryden sums up Collier's message.
He tells you that this very moral age received its first infection from the stage.
Yes, to the Puritans, the theatre was the root of all evil. Collier savagely attacked almost all contemporary writers, picking particularly on Congreve and Vanbrugh, whose comedies now seem pretty tame compared to some of our current drama. But we still feel the effect of men like Collier in our attitude to the theatre, an institution which still has overtones of immorality. In 1909, George Bernard Shaw maintained
almost all performances, well, that's too strong, but I should say that a very large percentage of the performances which take place at present on the English stage under the censorship licence have for their object the stimulation of sexual desire.
Perhaps the existence of strip clubs and the development of sexploitation in the film industry and television plays have limited this preoccupation in the theatre. But its shadow looms over the whole issue of censorship. We now no longer have the Lord Chamberlain controlling the output on our stages, though in his time he did some sterling work.
We're very pleased to have with us this evening the newly appointed Lord Chamberlain. Now, what are your views on censorship in the theatre?
Well, frankly, I think there's far too much sex and violence gets by in the name of entertainment. I mean, I go to the theatre to be taken out of myself. I don't want to see lust and rape and incest and sodomy. I can get all that at home.
Alan Bennett and Peter Cook. Sometimes the censor's recommendations are a bit extreme. Here's an example from what was then the Manchester Guardian.
Whitley Bay and Monk Seaton Amateur Lyric Society's script for their annual pantomime was returned yesterday by the Lord Chancellor's Department, to which all such script, amateur or professional, must go before production. One of the characters in the show, which is to be Dick Whittington, is, or rather was, named Van Dam. The censor requests that the name be altered to Van Drat.
Our children have to be protected. But actors don't suffer only from humorous cracks against their private lives. Their professional work is also subject to abuse. Public performances become public property, and everyone feels entitled to pass judgment on an actor's life work. Everyone is an amateur critic, although individual standards vary. In Henry Fielding's novel, Tom Jones, there's a passage where Tom Jones takes his funny old schoolmaster friend Partridge and a woman called Mrs. Miller to see a performance of Hamlet. And the point about this is it was played by David Garrick, the greatest actor of his age, who presented for the first time a sort of realistic, unrelenting Hamlet. And this is what Henry Fielding wrote in Tom Jones.
Little more worth remembering occurred during the play, at the end of which Jones asked him which of the players he'd like best. To this he answered with some appearance of indignation at the question, "The King, without doubt." "Indeed, Mr. Partridge," says Mrs. Miller, "you're not of the same opinion with the town, for they are all agreed that Hamlet is acted by the best player who ever was on the stage." "He the best player?" cries Partridge with a contemptuous sneer. "Why, I could act as well as he myself. I'm sure if I'd seen a ghost, I should have looked in the very same manner and done just as I did. Now, the King, for my money, he speaks all his words distinctly, half as loud again as the other. Anybody may see he is an actor."
Volume is no longer prized as much as it used to be in the theatre, though audiences haven't got any quieter. James Agate.
Long experience has taught me that in England nobody goes to the theatre unless he or she has bronchitis.
As well as the amateur critics in the audience, there are, of course, those whose job it is to direct the reactions of the public to theatrical works. Sometimes it seems that they're more concerned about their own writing than that of the playwrights they're criticising. Here are a few crushing blows from American critics who are rather good at that sort of thing. Here's one from Eugene Field, writing about the actor Creston Clark playing King Lear in the 1880s.
He played the king as though under momentary apprehension that someone else was about to play the ace.
One from Robert Benchley.
It was one of those plays in which all the characters unfortunately enunciated very clearly.
George Jean Nathan.
I always said that I'd like Barrymore's acting till the cows came home. Ladies and gentlemen, last night, the cows came home.
Considering the vicious remarks of some critics, it's amazing that playwrights can draw any comfort at all from their reports on the morning after the first night.
Now, Mr. Frost, when I passed the theatre this morning, I noticed a great deal of activity going on outside.
Oh, yes, that was the management. They were very busy plastering up all the favourable notices which the play has received.
But I thought you said it's been universally condemned.
Well, that is true, but however, we managed to salvage one or two excerpts from the reviews that we feel will take the public in, draw the public in. Yes, you may have noted that one, this play lasts 3 hours, the Evening Standard. That'll appeal, you see, to people who like to get their money's worth. And then there's What an Evening in the Theatre. Remember that one, Daily Herald?
Oh, yes.
What an Evening in the Theatre, yes. We had to cut out the word atrocious. We didn't feel it was fulfilling any useful purpose, so we put a few exclamation marks in instead. And then there was Mr. Frost Has a Hit, Daily Telegraph.
Oh, the Daily Telegraph thought it was a hit.
No, that's an extract from a longer sentence that Mr. Darlington wrote. Mr. Frost has a hit-and-miss approach to the theatre, which I find utterly exasperating. Then there was a Feast of Impeccable Acting News Chronicle.
But surely the News Chronicle has gone out of existence.
Exactly. It is merely a reconstruction of what we feel Mr. Alan Dent would have written had the paper been alive.
Now, Mr. Frost, there was one other notice which attracted my attention this morning, the one by Harold Hobson.
Oh, yeah, I'm very glad you mentioned that. One of our better efforts, yes. An evening of incomparable theatrical splendor. Lovely performance by Stella Frost, haunting, human, hilarious. I shall go again, and again, and again. Oh, yes, we're very proud of that one.
Mr. Frost, I read the Sunday Times review, and as far as I can remember, he said that it was one of the most distressing evenings he'd ever spent in the theatre.
That is true. Mr. Hobson didn't appear to have enjoyed the play at all. But as you know, these critics have to write their pieces in a great hurry. They have to work to a deadline, you know. And quite often, I think they say things they don't really mean at all. That's the charitable view of it, anyway. So here we've taken the liberty of extracting individual letters from Mr. Hobson's original review and putting them together more carefully than he would have had time to do.
But surely that is a gigantic distortion of the truth.
That is correct. It's gigantic.
Do you mean to say you are quite deliberately setting out to deceive the public by twisting the critics' words to suit your own purposes?
That is the plan.
Well, Mr. Frost, I can only say I'm utterly disgusted at your behaviour, and I think your play is the most boring rubbish ever to reach London.
Thank you. May I quote you on that?
Kenneth Williams and Lance Percival. I said that every man in the street sees himself as a critic, but I'm afraid some also see themselves as actors. This explains the large number of amateur dramatic societies in the country. Many citizens lead a sort of Jekyll and Hyde existence. By day they wear their neat city suits, but in the evening they sprout neck scarves and sandals and start calling each other Ducky. Now, some amateur actors are good, but this is not essential, and can indeed be a disadvantage. The bad amateur actor, the sort of good bad amateur actor, has been dubbed by Michael Green the coarse amateur actor. He's the sort of actor who can remember the lines very well, but not the order in which they come. Here is some advice from Michael Green on this business of coarse acting.
Technique. The amount of genuine acting which a coarse player will be called upon to do is limited. To start with, he will merely be called upon to register certain simple emotions. The only emotions that need be used are as follows. 1, rage. 2, pleasure. 3, love. 4, joy. 5, pain. And 6, hate. Now, even in this simple list, the same expression may serve for 2 emotions. Once an actor is able to register these stock emotions successfully, he can introduce subtleties, if he wishes, by mixing 2 emotions. For instance, to portray a man who, although badly injured, has succeeded in saving his fiancée from death, one merely mixes emotions 3, 4, and 5. That's love, joy, and pain. Now, to portray a man like Othello, furious with the object of his devotion, is simply a matter of mixing emotions 1, 3, and 6, rage, love, and hate. Have no truck with any producer who requires impossible subtleties of feelings. If he says, I want you to give me that underlying sense of insecurity, Simply hand him the list and ask him to tick off the required emotions.
But it's all right for the amateurs. Getting a part or not, isn't life or death. But in the professional theatre, it's hard to keep in work, and the actor has to keep trying. Some actresses, or so I am told, get work by succumbing to the casting couch. Well, for most actors and actresses, the way of getting a job is by going to one of those terribly depressing auditions.
Begin as soon as you like, please, would you? Would you start as soon as you can, please? We're in a hurry. We have a lot of people to see.
Right. I prepared... can you hear me?
Yes.
I prepared a short extract from the Richard III soliloquy, which I do for you. Because if you don't mind, I won't read the script. My eyesight is not all as good as it is, and I like time to pore over it. But however, I do this, my memory isn't also what it was. However, I do remember some of it. And,
be as quick as you can, would you please?
And now is the winter of our discontent. May glorious summer.
God, not another one.
So sorry. Glorious summer by the son of York.
There's some very interesting idiots coming along here, don't there? Don't blame me, Death. It's not my fault.
Of the ocean, the berry.
Oh, you've forgotten it all now.
Berry. And now are our brows. What is it? Oh, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I thought it was...
Hello. Oh, Pinky?
Now are our brows.
No, he's not here. Who is it? Oh, hello, darling. How are you? No, we're just watching some audition. Oh, some old idiot, huh? Yes, he's sitting right next to me.
Merry meeting.
Oh, I thought something was just performing. Yes, all right. See you later, darling. Bye. Bye. By the way, was that girl any good? Oh, not bad, yes. I don't think she was quite right for the part. It's funny, I thought she had right sort of appearance and everything. I think I'll have a word with her later.
To fright the soul,
but of course.
Fearful adversary. He caper nimbly in milady's chamber.
What is your name, please? Your name?
Yes, Minge. Warrington Minge.
Oh, I will let you know.
Well, I had left my address with the...
Thank you.
With the stage door.
Oh.
What?
Get him out of here.
You will let me know.
We will let you know.
I'm so sorry about
Thank you.
Peter Sellers. The theatre is full of colourful characters who feature in theatrical jokes. There's the director, who in recent years has threatened to take over from the actors. Here's James Agate's description of a director.
The person engaged by the management to conceal the fact that the players cannot act.
And a popular figure in theatrical joke mythology is the agent, over-keen for his 10%. Note, most agent jokes are unkind. There's the one about the agent who's walking along Charing Cross Road with his wife, and suddenly across the street he recognises an actor for whom he acts.
See him? See him? You see him over there? See him, BT? See him? See him? Hey, thieving swine, taking 90% of my salary? Here, Frank. You heard about poor old Harry?
No.
Harry from Charing Cross Road on top of the tobacconist.
Not Harry.
Dropped dead in the office this morning.
Harry?
Harry, walked in the office, sat at the desk, boom, dropped dead.
Harry?
Harry, I'm telling you, Harry.
Dropped dead?
Yeah, dead. Dear. God.
Hey.
Yeah?
What did he have?
A couple of singers, dancers, a dog act, conjuring act.
Agents, of course, are often maligned. They can sometimes be very understanding. I mean, say an agent was sitting there in his office and a man with one leg came in.
Mr. Spigot,
auditioning, are you not, for the part of Tarzan?
Right.
Now, Mr. Spigot, I couldn't help noticing, almost at once, that you are a one-legged person.
You noticed that?
When you've been in the business as long as I have, Mr. Spigot, you get to notice these little things almost instinctively. Now, Mr. Spigot, you, a one-legged man, are applying for the role of Tarzan.
Right.
A role that traditionally involves the use of a two-legged actor.
True.
And yet you, a unidexter, are applying for the role.
Definitely.
A role for which two legs would seem to be the minimum requirement. Well, Mr. Spigot, need I point out to you where your deficiency lies as regards landing the role?
Yes, I think you ought to.
Need I say with overmuch emphasis that it is in the leg division that you are deficient?
The leg division.
The leg division, Mr. Spigot.
The leg division.
The leg division. You are deficient in it to the tune of 1. Your right leg, I like. I like your right leg. It's a lovely leg for the roll. That's what I said when I saw it come in. I said, lovely leg for the roll. Lovely leg for the roll. I've got nothing against your right leg. The trouble is, neither of you. You fall down on your left.
You mean it's inadequate?
It's inadequate, Mr. Spigot, and to my mind, at any rate, the British public is not yet ready for the sight of a one-legged ape man swinging through the jungly tendrils. However, don't despair, Mr. Spigot. After all, you score over a man with no legs at all. I mean, should a legless man come in here demanding the role, I should have no hesitation in saying, get out, run away.
So there's still a chance?
There is still a very good chance, Mr. Spigot. If we get no two-legged character actors in here within the next 18 months, there is every chance that you, a unidexter, will be the very type of person we shall probably, in some way, be attempting at some time to contact telephonically.
Peter Cook and Dudley Moore. I'm afraid the theatre's also a hard career for actors with a more normal complement of legs. Mrs. Worthingtons should all be urged not to put their daughters on the stage, or their sons. Not that urging will make much difference. The theatre's attraction remains strong in spite of the difficulties of finding work and the public's distrust of actors. Let's close with two contrasting views of the theatre. First, from Dr. Johnson.
The stage but echoes back the public voice. The drama's laws the drama's patrons give, for we that live to please must please to live.
And second, a comment on the theatre from Henry James.
It is a most unholy trade.
Well, next week our trade is probably even unholier. We're going into advertising. Until then, it's Exeunt, Alfred Marks and me. Goodbye!
Farewell!
Goodbye! Goodbye!
Frank Muir Goes Into the Theatre was produced by Simon Brett and Bob Oliver Rogers.
Well, folks, that's all for this episode. here on Randy's Old Time Radio Shows. Now, bringing these golden oldies back to life takes no small amount of time and effort from our good friend Randy, cleaning up the audio, converting the files, and making sure each show has the best audio possible. If you've enjoyed the program and you'd like to help keep these classics on the airwaves night after night, why not consider a small donation? Every penny goes straight to supporting Randy's work and helping this channel stay on the air. You'll find the links down in the description below. And for those of you kind souls who've already given, Randy tips his fedora to you. Your support truly keeps this old radio spirit alive. Thanks ever so much. And until next time, keep those dials tuned and keep the memories rolling.